I'm looking at a column, this is Jim Cramer, street.com, called Not About Making Friends, It's About Spending Money, and it's a special column. It's the first by Cliff Mason, who's going to be with us for the duration. I'm going to read a paragraph from it. This is a column for financial heresy, for practical real-world advice coming from someone your own age who's been dealing with your problems and who shares your priorities. This is not by Jim Cramer, obviously, because I don't share these priorities or these problems. I'm a rich guy. I got rich by investing in the market. I have forgotten, in many ways, what it was like to be poor. I know structurally in my mind I remember what it was like to be poor, not have any money. But in terms of imparting genuine wisdom to people who are there, I've forgotten more than I've learned. I want to bring Cliff Mason in and just to talk about this column, which is about the notion of in your 20s, there's an intellectual construct behind the column. In your 20s, it may not pay, risk reward versus real life, to be saving a little bit of that little pay stub. Cliff Mason, this article will read to some people, particularly people my age, as if it is based on no particular present value rigor. Can you explain why Not About Making Friends, It's About Spending Money actually has an intellectual construct buried within the notion of anecdotal information about someone who's 22?
Absolutely. I mean, this is a basic economic concept. If you're 22 years old, you're just starting out at work, you're making $40,000 a year. Now, the money you might save, say you might save $5,000 this year, you have a discount rate on that money if you save it. And you're going to have a really steep discount rate. That is, it's going to be more valuable to you today to spend that money than whatever your interest rate. If you get 5% on it, you invest it, you get 15%. 5 years down the road, when you're making much more money, when your job is paying you better, because let's be honest, you're going to make most of your money from income. It's not going to be from investments. But in the future, you will not need those savings that you might, spend today. You won't need to have put away money. You will have more income, and so your discount rate should be really very steep.
All right, but what do you say to people, particularly the conventional wisdom people, the cutting the credit cards people, the people who say put away a little bit of money each month? What do you say to them about how they may not be offering the correct alternative, given the fact that every text that these people have promulgated is flying in the face of your analysis?
Well, I mean, look, they're all going back to Ben Franklin. They're all going back to a penny saved.
But doesn't Ben Franklin, isn't he perennial?
I think that Ben Franklin went out of style maybe a century ago. I mean, the fact of the matter is that if you're going to save $200 a week, you're going to give something up for that. And right now, you're going to be giving up a lot more than in the future when you're making more money. You might be giving out, say, going out to dinner. You might be giving out living in a better location. And you probably don't want to sacrifice that. You probably don't want to degrade your standard of living just so you can sort of feel responsible and feel like, yes, I am taking Ben Franklin's advice. I am a saver.
All right, I'm a 52-year-old. I'm reading this column, and I'm saying, what the heck is some hedonist 22-year-old telling me about money?
Having spent as much as I've earned, I can understand that attitude. And the thing is, I'm not telling you about money. You're 52. I'm not talking to you. Okay. I haven't been 52. I haven't, been working for 30 years. I don't have a huge bank account, And that's the thing. I spent college not exactly living from hand to mouth, right. But, I am in a position where I'm not really thinking about retirement because that's 40 years away. Right. And, me and all of my friends and everyone I know who is concerned about money, we're dealing with, finding a place to live and paying for that. We're dealing with, eating. We're dealing with being able to have a good time even though you're working 12 hours a day.
How about this? The need to have a social life when you can have a social life versus when you get older and social life is restricted to a Saturday.
Well, let's put it this way. Spring break. You're going to go to Fort Lauderdale at, 21, 22. Right. And all these columnists will tell you, no, don't spend money on spring break. That's a waste. Well, wait a minute. If you're saving for retirement, all you're saving for is moving to Fort Lauderdale when you're 60, 65. Now, I don't know. I would rather go to Fort Lauderdale when I'm 20. I'd rather be on the beach when I'm 20 than when I'm 65 and I need the Cialis. And
All right. Well, we're speaking with Cliff Mason, whose first column appears today on TheStreet.com, the free site, the flagship site. Not about making friends, it's about spending money. When we come back, I want to talk about the notion of the post-Google revolution and why we didn't listen to 22-year-olds in the past, but why those of us who don't now are doomed. Stay with TheStreet.com.